Now let's talk about politics. You were campaign coordinator of the APC, and you and your team successfully got this government elected. What do you say to Nigerians who feel shortchanged 2 years into this administration?
We promised Nigerians change. We didn't say that the change would be the change on the individual side. We didn't say we'll remove the president and put ourselves, and that's the change. We said change in structure. Change in the structure that breeds corruption. I was talking with my friends here, and I said, do you know how much our salary is? About 980,000 naira per month. Do you know how much our housing allowance is? 4 million naira. And it's paid on monthly basis, part of the 980,000, I think so, that we're paid per month. Do you know how much you're entitled to when you travel overseas? About $500 or so. So before you get over $5,000, you must have a heavy sweat. But this is, in the past, ministers get $20,000, $30,000 for traveling overseas. Was that the entitlement? The answer is no. Who was shortchanging Nigeria? Those past government. Now, they shouldn't forget that if the last government had won, it would have been worse.
How so?
First, the oil price has come down. When it was 140, 110, what did they do with the money? I continue to say to people that there was a period that Obasanjo left office. He left office and left behind about $68 billion in the excess crude account, not even the foreign reserve. Nigerians are not remembering this. I know what they say. They say, oh, we're tired of hearing what happened. There were solutions. I agree with them. That's why you see, no minister is talking about the problems anymore. We're looking at the solutions alone. But Nigerians must remember that when Obasanjo left office, he left about 68 billion. When he left office, we voted for President Yar'Adua. President Yar'Adua, you shouldn't forget that we had this recession under Yar'Adua in 2009. Yes, I was a governor. Nobody felt it. You know why? Because there was a savings of $68 billion. So every month, he took $1 billion from that savings to augment after meeting with the governors. So we didn't feel it. We said, oh, our economic and standing shock. But the whole world felt it. It was because of that savings. When that savings got to about 48, Yar'Adua had died, and President Goodluck Jonathan was the president. Oil price had climbed back to 110. The benchmark was 75. Why is the difference between 75 and 110? Nobody has, no Nigerian had asked that question. If that money was saved, we wouldn't be here we are now. Now, plus the 48 that was remaining, every time we came to a meeting, $1 billion was missing. Anytime we came to a meeting, $1 billion, if you come to a meeting by June, we ask, give us account of the excess crude account. If we left at 48, the next month it will be 47. We come the next month, what happened to it? They say, oh, the president directed that they should take it. They should spend it. We come to the next meeting, it will be 46. What happened again? Well, the president said we should spend it, $1 billion. By the time we got to 44, 43, we had said as governors, please, no, this money belongs to every Nigerian. Share it amongst us. At the end of the day, they didn't share it at all. They shared only $10 billion. Right? So what happened to the rest $30-something billion?
But you know, when figures such as those you mentioned are talked about, it boggles the mind. You begin to ask yourself, could these kinds of monies just disappear into thin air?
You should ask the past government. I'm open for the debate. I'm not talking as a former DG of President Buhari's campaign. Neither am I talking as a Minister of Transportation. I'm talking as a former chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. That was the major problem we had with President Goodluck Jonathan. I emphasize, there was a period that our oil price was at 110. I'm not going to 140 anymore. Let's assume I'm just dreaming. I'm not going to 140, 110. And benchmark was 75. The benchmark was public. Look at the budget. It's there. It was only 1 year that benchmark increased to 78. Where is the difference between 75 and 110?
But we should be asking this government now, is it this difficult to trace this money?
Nigerians don't want to know anymore. They want solutions. So if we continue to trace money, where is the money, and we don't do anything, Nigerians won't be happy. So now Nigeria, the government...
That's an assumption. Because I
know that
Nigerians want this money back.
They want it back, but they want solution to their problem because they're hungry. I listened to the radio interview.
And getting these monies back will provide some of the...
Yeah, but most of the people have run out of the country, run away out of the country. Most of the people spend 2 weeks in detention and come out and don't bring any money back. The stealing is huge. Now there's discipline. That's why I say they should thank God that God through them, God through Nigeria has put us in power. Because if that corruption had continued and oil price was at 38, don't forget it was at 38. It's just like it's climbing to 50 something. So Nigerians cannot expect to live the life we are living at 110. We have to discipline ourselves to come down to the reality of that $38 per barrel. One good thing about it is that I served as governor in the last government. And not only did I serve as a governor, I was chairman of the Governors Forum twice. 4 years out of the 6 years the president, Goodluck Jonathan, spent in government. So I talk with knowledge as a governor who attended most of the meetings where these decisions were made. And they will agree with me that Nigerians are forgetting so soon that I was the person who came up with the document written by the then Emir, the then CBN governor, who is now the Emir. Everybody saying the Emir of Kano, Emir of Kano. They've forgotten that he did not make that document public. I made that document public, in which was alleging that $49 billion was missing. I know they say it's 20 billion. Whether it's 49 billion or 20 billion, dollars were missing.
You were governor of Rivers State, as has been established. It's been said that the elections in Rivers State are never an election between the PDP and the APC, but a war for the soul of the state between your good self and the current governor, Nyesom Wike. How is your much publicized personal animosity affecting the governance of that state, and how can this be resolved?
You've known me for some time. Do I look like somebody who is violent? So how would you ask me that kind of question? The person who is violent has confessed by himself. Why are you asking me a question?
No, I'm saying the governance.
I don't participate in the governance of Rivers State. I stay back in Abuja. I hardly go to Rivers State.
But do you believe that your influence is still felt
by who?
in Rivers State?
I don't know.
And what you feel still
the
relationship between you
I don't want to know about that. If the governor wants to govern, let him govern. First, he has I made the education free. Now they pay school fees. So the parents will actually ask questions. I ran the primary schools as a state government. Now he says the villagers should run the school by themselves. They should contribute money and run the school. I've never seen where villagers run school. So where they are coming there? He makes his decision. He will make his mistakes. He's fighting. He starts the war. He will finish his war. You listen to the tape between him and Fayose. If Fayose did not speak, the governor would have denied again that it wasn't him. It was manufactured. Until Fayose said, yes, we spoke. Yes, we said it. But why should you be listening to us? You should be fighting us at Bisa. But you see, Fayose has admitted that this happened. I'm a Christian. Human lives are important to me.
Political thuggery continues to be a problem. And Rivers State is a case in point. Now let's talk generally. How can we stop desperate politicians from taking advantage of the vulnerabilities of the people?
The first thing is the electoral process. When votes don't count, people do whatever they like. The first strategy of PDP was 5 days election, or 1 week election, or 2 weeks election. They killed about 5 APC members. That scares everybody from going to vote. Then they go and write results. What else? As a journalist, would you now say, oh, Ameachi, you're wrong, you know about it? I have said I don't know anything about it. Show evidence that I know anything about it. The governor says he doesn't know anything about it. They brought whoever recorded it brought the first tape, the first cassette. And I said, oh, no, there's a new technology that does so things to show you to look like your voice. The second one came out, he claimed that. The last one came out, and he closed his mouth. And it was God that sent Fayose. If Fayose did not speak before the governor, he would have denied. But Fayose spoke first, and said, yes, there was a conversation between myself. That conversation took place between myself and the governor.
So how can we ensure that there really are two strong parties? The
Supreme Court has killed that. If the Supreme Court in the judgment of Rivers State and Akwa Ibom has said, no, the card readers were not used. The card readers were not there for play. They were there for electoral purposes. Since the card reader result is different from what was announced, elections, you should go back and hold the election based on the card reader. Then people will know that it is the votes of the people that count. It is not the might of killing people that are going to write result.
But current Governor Wike also is accusing the present federal government of doing exactly the same thing, that you're using federal might to...
Can I ask you one question? Was anybody arrested? Was any PDP member arrested? Was any PDP member killed by the police or the army? The only reason why he's saying that is that for the first time they brought magnitude of policemen to stop any killing. So for the first time, The army and the police massively protected lives and properties in River State. So let Wike tell us the role the federal government played, other than the propaganda that he was carrying. Let him tell us one thing that the federal government did against him. But in my time, I was locked inside the government house. I couldn't come out. In my time, I was refused to enter to the government house. None has happened. So let Wike tell the public what the federal government has done. So when they saw massive deployment of police, and the police people were not carrying batons, they were carrying guns, PDP pulled back their guns, and APC was able to vote.
Now let's talk about the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta Avengers are threatening the government again after a period of quiet. You are one of the Niger Delta leaders. What do they want? And how can we get the militants to stop the sabotage for
I thought you should ask them that question. You know why I say you should ask them that question? We had 2 years of vice presidency. We had 6 years of presidency. The 6 years in which Nigerian people let you do whatever you want to do in the Niger Delta. Change Niger Delta from what it is to what they call Little London. And it didn't happen. That was part of the disagreement between me and President Goodluck Jonathan. And he came to Port Harcourt and admitted that. And said to Nigerians, I have not done anything in the Niger Delta. When I win the second term, I will do something. So who do you blame? President Buhari, who has just come in without money, or our son and leader, who came in when there was money and did nothing? Please tell me who you blame. So what are the Avengers avenging? So, I don't know, blame me. I need to sit with the Avengers so they can tell what they are avenging. Is it that they are avenging the fact that our leader and son could not do East-West Road that was started by our passenger? And all that, the only time he could borrow money to start doing it was when I had a confrontation with the federal government. So, you journalists, can you please ask them, what are they avenging? Because I'm from Niger Delta, I need to know, so that I know what I can tell the president when we meet. I have a responsibility to fight for the Niger Delta people, because I'm Niger Delta.
But are you working with other Niger Delta leaders to ensure that this problem is solved comprehensively?
That's what I think should happen. I think that Avengers, Niger Delta leaders, everybody needs to come together first and ask ourselves, what's the problem? But don't mistake what I said to the fact that the Nigerian nation has been fair to us. No. Nigerian nation has not been fair to us. Niger Delta has remained largely undeveloped. But what I'm saying is that we had an opportunity. If we don't develop everywhere in Niger Delta, we had an opportunity to even change the face of Niger Delta.
So how can this be redressed now?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. For it to be redressed, I think we should work with the president. We should sit with the president and say, look, we won't continue with violence. Let's sit with you and say, how do we develop the Niger Delta? How do we get money in the hands of the Ministry of Niger Delta? How do we look at the master plan of the Niger Delta and through the Ministry of Niger Delta and Niger Delta Development Commission, develop the area?
Honorable Minister, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.